in Doolin. He left Doolin to go to New York, and from New York he invented the very first ever submarine, which I'm almost certain the very first ever submarine to be used in the United States was used by the military during the American Civil War, by the Union side, by the northern side. J.P. Holland built that. The Atlantic Ocean there to your left. You'll get a better view when we get towards the back end of Doolin. Also, a lot of these houses, even though they're quite modern, you will see some of the original houses that were on the land. The old stone houses. A lot of them are used as storage space in the sheds. Some of them are even just completely destroyed, but you'll see a lot of modern houses, but you'll still see some of the old houses that would have been built here around the 1690s, 1700s. And to your right there's more cows. And to your left there's more cows. You'll see it, some of you in the front may have to see it on the left hand side. You'll be able to see it clearly as we go past Doolin. And again, that abbey would have been destroyed by Oliver Cromwell when he invaded back in the 1650s. Bear with us. If you take a look out to your left, you'll see again the Atlantic Ocean, and the piece of land you'll see in the distance, the kind of mountain that's sticking up, that's County Clare. That's the southernmost part of Ireland, right down there on the left hand side. You can see it kind of in the distance. So all this land, all this area would have been owned again by the O'Brien family, who I mentioned a couple of times already. But again, they were the kind of Celtic rulers, and later on the Catholic Celtic rulers of Clare, especially southern Clare. And the O'Briens owned all this land. Now when we get to the top of this hill, you'll look out on the right and you'll see all of them.
Jump shot.
And that penny bought them soup. But the soup was basically just hot water, some weeds, and maybe one or two little bits of porridge. And that's what they had to eat at the end of the day. And these stone walls were built by hundreds and hundreds of men and women who literally worked all day, starving for this penny to buy this very undernourishing soup. 2 million people emigrated. They don't even know the exact number of people that died. They think it may have been 1 million. Historians in later years claim it's nearly 2, maybe even 3 million, because so many of them were buried in mass graves and burnt, so they couldn't spread like disease and plague. You'll see, I'll point some out, that wall there, there's a wall right there that stretches right up to the top of that mountain. That's a famine wall. These walls led nowhere. They didn't serve any purpose, literally, other than to give these starving people something to do in the daytime. And you'll notice there's no cement within the wall. It's all just stones and stones stacked on top of each other. And there's a bit of a reasoning for that, because every 5 feet there's a little hole in the wall, and that's to let the wind pass through, so it doesn't actually knock the wall down itself. But there's these walls spread all throughout this countryside, and these were a thing of the workhouses. Every 50 miles or so there was a workhouse, but there was also these things called soup kitchens. And the soup kitchens were different to the workhouses, because the workhouses you had to work all day building these pointless walls. There's another one on the right hand side. But the soup kitchens were free food. You could go in, you can get food free, bread, meat, porridge, hearty food to do you through the winter. But there was one catch, and this is where again religion comes into it. If you were a Catholic and you wanted to go into this soup kitchen, you had to change to Protestant. And at this time, don't forget, my friends, at this point in time your religious identity was your identity. And so many people chose to starve than to change their religion. Now though things are a little bit better, there was a census taken just about a month ago, so we will actually know the exact number of people in Ireland fairly soon. But I think roughly we had, what did I say, in about 1950 we had about 3 million people. Apparently about 10 years ago we had about, I think it was 5 million, and I'm almost certain the rough estimate that people are giving the current census form was about 6.1 million people. So it's going up, and I think about 3 million of those people were COVID babies. The great COVID boom of 2020. Yeah. So things are improving. You can see several of those walls kind of up around that hillside there, but there's a better image of it further on down this road. And also, in this time of religious persecution, the Catholics, what they would do is they would
Poco är det jävla bästa nog. Då går det bästa nog. Ja.
Здесь я, честно говоря, не понимаю.
Solicitei cancelar.